I'm visiting with T. Graham Brown. T, let's talk music. What's the next record?
Well, Ralph, we cut a version, we covered a version of the Platters, had a song called With This Ring in 1967. We did our version of it and turned it in to Capitol Records, and they want to put it out, and it's coming out this month, and I'm looking forward to it. It's either going to be a big bomb or a big hit. I can't decide. We'll have to see.
And that'll be the follow-up to I'm Sending One Up For You?
Yes.
Tell me about I'm Sending One Up For You, since that was the release you had at the beginning of this year.
Well, I got the idea from Sheila. Sheila sends me these love notes.
Sheila, your wife, sends you love notes?
Yeah, she prays for me a lot, and I'll find these notes stuck in my coat pocket or suitcase, or she sticks them where, you'll find them every now and then out on the road. And it's just encouragement, like Acme can't wait for his daddy to get home. We're sending one up for you. Love, Sheila, something like that. And so that's what she calls praying, is sending one up. So I told Gary Nicholson and Ray Kennedy about it. And Ray Kennedy's, his first album's out on Atlantic Records, and he's the first guy I ever co-wrote a song with when I first moved to Nashville. And we were sitting in Gary's studio called the Chicken Shack in Gary's backyard, and I told him about Sheila sending me those notes and saying sending one up. I said, what do y'all think about that for an idea? And they said, man, it's great. And so we wrote it, and Capitol put it out.
That's a cute idea. I'm sending one up for you.
Yeah, well,
I imagine in that recent war we were engaged in, a lot of people sent them up for a lot of people.
Oh, man, everybody did. I know I did. I'm a peace guy.
What about albums for 1991?
Got one coming out middle of April. I can't wait. It's going to be called If You Can't Take It With You. I was going to say If You Could Only See Me Now, but that was off of Bumper to Bumper.
Okay, the new album will be called You Can't Take It With You.
It's a great song.
That sounds like a single to be.
Boy, it's a powerful song. It's about loving people while you're here. It's like loving your friends and your family, and it's like you better do it now while you got someone to love.
T, let's talk about Moonshadow Road for a moment. That was a good record for you.
Yeah, that was a hit. That was an autobiographical song.
All right, tell me why it was autobiographical.
Well, the first line of it is, all day Friday I'd be daydreaming of borrowing my old man's Catalina. My old man had a 68 Catalina. I graduated from high school in 72.
That was a Pontiac, wasn't it?
Yeah, Pontiac Catalina. My manager said, why couldn't you have said Grand Prix or something that they make now, and then you could get some mileage out of it? But I told, here again, we were at the Chicken Shack at Gary Nicholson's house, and Verlin Thompson, who is on Capitol SBK Records, we were writing one day, and we were just talking about how we went parking when we were in high school, and that we'd all get together, all the guys would, and kind of plot out our strategy of where we were going to go and who we were going out with and what we were going to tell their daddies that we were going to do. So we'd all have our story straight. So we would look in the paper on Fridays and find out the lamest, tamest movie in town, and we would say, that's where we're going. And then we would head straight to the sticks. So that's what Moonshadow Road is about.
Moonshadow Road is a lover's lane.
Well, yeah, it's a lover's lane, and it's about coming of age, kind of. It's a very common thing, I found out. I'm not the only guy that learned about. I got a sex education out on the lover's lane.
What was the real name? Do you remember what the real name of your lover's lane was?
Daniels Beach. It was
in Georgia?
Yeah, it was a crook in the river where a bunch of sand had washed up, and that's where we can go. Daniels Beach. It was great.
I want to talk about your personal side. What kind of guy is T. Graham Brown? Number one, I think I know the answers to some of these, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. Are you sentimental?
Oh, very. I'm very sentimental.
I dare say that you would cry at a movie or over a song that could trigger that emotion in you.
Yep, I have done that. The last time I cried, I was doing a Taco Bell commercial in the desert in California, and I was listening to the radio. It was right when they sent the planes in to bomb Iraq and Kuwait. When I heard that news, I just started crying. I couldn't help it, and I was glad Sheila was there with me, because it was I didn't want that. I just hate the idea of war. And I was wanting it to be a peaceful thing. I mean, I'm glad it turned out as quick and nice and neat as it did. Yeah, I cry at movies, and I mean, I'm not a crybaby though.
I understand, but you're a sensitive person.
I think so.
How about your temper? Do you get mad easily?
Yeah, I do. I hate to say it, but I have a bad temper too.
So that's a side of you I've never seen.
Well, I keep it under control, but when I need to be firm, it's usually with people that work for me and maybe that don't do their job right or something. I mean, I'm not a guy that I'm easy to work for. I mean, I'm very easy to work for. But every now and then, I don't have any rules. It's just be straight on the gig and just be a regular good guy. That's about the only rule.
You have a rule about drinking?
No, I don't.
While you're working?
Well, yeah, nobody drinks while we work. But as long as they keep it under control, I'm fine. I live and let live. And yeah, there's no drinking allowed on stage.
Are you slow to anger? Or do you just?
No, I get there pretty quick.
Now, how about?
Well, for instance, I got real angry at a guy one day, and we're up in New York State. I can't remember the town, but we were working with Kenny Rogers, and it was a theater in the round. And I did my show, and when I came backstage, one of my band members said, "Did you see that security guard that was just making faces and just acting like he was just real distracted?" And say I hadn't seen the guy, and so I sent for him, and he was a big old guy too, man. And I just really let him have it about, if he didn't like what I was doing, that wasn't the place to.
Was he making faces at your performance?
Well, yeah.
He didn't like you?
No, he didn't like what we were doing, and
he didn't like country music.
Well, he just didn't like us, I think. I don't know, but the point was, when you work, or you're a security guard, you're supposed to be neutral on all that stuff,
Yeah.
Well, it turned out the guy was a cop. Anyway, I was just about ready to come to blows, but it didn't come to blows. But that upset me. See, the thing of it is I'm real easy, I think, and when people take advantage of me, I don't like it.
You want people to like you.
Sure, I do, and I try to treat people the way I want to be treated.
T, we always spend some time on the subject of Acme. How's Acme?
He's great, Ralph. I just got back from a Dream Makers luncheon, and it's we grant wishes to children with life-threatening illnesses, and it's really touching because you see these kids with cancer and different things, and Acme's 19 months old, and he's never been sick one day in his life. I mean, he's never had a cold or anything, and I'm pretty healthy, and Sheila's healthy, and it's Acme is a joy.
You gonna have any more children?
If God wants us to. I mean, we try.
I mean, you'd like to have.
Sure, I'd like to. Yeah.
You mentioned that your whole married life is kind of goofy. You mean the circumstances surrounding your marriage?
Just goofy in a good way. I mean, what I do for a living is pretty unusual, compared to, the average guy, let's say. Although I don't think that I'm above anything, I just have an unusual job.
When Sheila found out that you planned to make music, singing country music, your life's career, how did she react to that?
She was totally for it. She always, from the minute she knew me, she knew that I was.
Of course, you had a band down there.
Yeah, I was already doing it, so she knew. And she was going to be a veterinarian, and she'd gotten accepted to the University of Georgia's veterinary school, which is really one of the best in the nation. But she knew that I would never be happy unless we moved to Nashville and gave it a shot, and she encouraged me to move to Nashville. So she pretty much put her career on hold while we moved up here, and she worked 2 jobs so I could hang out on Music Row knocking on doors, and it just happened to work, thank goodness. but she was very generous about that. She said, "Well, I can always go back to vet school."
Does she take part in some ways in your career?
Oh yeah.
She help you pick songs?
She helps me pick them and write them, and she does everything, Ralph. She's something else.
How long has it been since I Tell It Like It Used to Be?
That was in 1986.
Has it been that long?
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the 5th year of your professional career.
And I can't believe, actually, October the 1st of 73 was when I officially started my singing career.
Oh, I'm talking about, when did you sign to Capitol Records?
In 85.
Okay.
And Tell It Like It Used to Be came out in 86.
And that's when things began to happen.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And it's something I can't believe. It doesn't seem like it's that long. It seems like yesterday. And Capitol's already put a greatest hits album out. And I can remember thinking, we used to sit on the steps. My daddy's got a farm in Georgia, and we had this little house on the farm. And we would sit on the steps and look up at the sky and talk about the future. And we used to just think, man, and I can remember vividly thinking, if I could only get one song on the charts, I'll be happy. I'll never ask for anything again. And I can't believe I've had enough
How many
hits.
have you had on the charts?
12, I think. Or
How many have you had in the top 10?
Probably 11. Every one of them, I guess, but a couple. I've had a bunch of them. I can't remember.
How many
really.
number ones?
3 number ones, I believe.
Hell and High Water?
Yeah, Hell and High Water was the first one.
And after that?
Don't Go to Strangers, and then Darlene.
How high did I Tell It Like It Used to Be go?
7. I had a meeting with Jimmy Bowen, the president of Capitol Records, yesterday, and he had a computer printout of all my chart activity, and so I kind of know that from yesterday. Ordinarily, I don't keep up with that. I know that sounds like a lie, but I don't.
I want you to tell me, T, about the Taco Bell commercials.
Man,
I saw you the other day, just firing away.
That is the most fun, other than singing, and I'll put that up there right on just about even with singing. That's the most fun I've ever had, because I get to dress up like a cowboy and make these miniature movies. They shoot it just like they shoot movies. I've been in 3 movies, and it's just like that, or just like a video, for instance. A music video. It's the most fun I ever had, man.
Where do they shoot them?
Down in Southern California at Joshua Tree National Monument. Just the most desolate place. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's great.
All right. Do you shoot 30-second commercials and 60-second commercials?
We do. We just shoot, and then they have enough to splice together whatever they want.
All right. How long? Well, I don't know how to ask this question then. I was going to ask you how long it takes you to shoot a 30-second commercial, but what do you do? Just shoot for days?
Yeah, we shoot for like a week, and they'll get like 2. Usually we do 2 at a time, and it takes 3 or 4 days. It's according to how fast things go.
Okay. When you say 2 at a time, you mean 2 30-second commercials?
Yeah, or 2 different commercials.
Two.
They'll have a storyline. In other words, they'll dress me in one outfit, and there's one storyline, and we'll shoot it so it'll make sense if they do a 30 or a 60.
Okay.
And then we might be doing 2 the same day. They might say, okay, get into your wardrobe for the first one, and they take a picture of you, a Polaroid of you, so they'll know what you had on, if you got the right vest on, the right belt, the right shoes. So it'll all match up. They keep the continuity right. So you might be shooting 2 commercials the same day.
All right. Now let's explain that the music is a pre-record. You do that in the studio.
Yeah. Well, you do that just like a record. Just like making records. You go in. There's a advertising agency, Foot Cone & Belding, in there in San Francisco. And a friend of mine is a friend of mine now. He's from Alabama. His name's Neil Selman. He thinks them all up. He writes the music. He calls up, and we get on a speakerphone usually, and he'll go, he can't sing at all, and he'll go like, how long has it been since you had something good, something delicious, something dynamite? And so you're listening to that, and you have to make something out of it. So, you take the raw thing and make it into something.
That's funny. T, I thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you for having me. You're a good brother, Ralph.